Go into this one in just a couple of moments. Keen to see how we're going to be getting started with the champion selections between the two of them. It just feels crazy that we're looking at these guys at possibly a sort of elimination match for the tournament, when I was previously expecting that both of these players were going to be quite comfortably going into top 8.
I feel like for me, k1llsen was actually one of my picks for grand finals.
Yeah,
because
same,
he's just been doing, you just can't ignore this guy's success. And you can't ignore the grind he's been on.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when changes happen, it comes down to how players can adapt to those changes, and k1llsen has had that issue where he's been not sure on what champions to go with, because he has so many that he knows how to play.
Well, let's have a look now and see what kind of champions we will be getting. Noctis going on the Anarchy. Used to be playing that a lot for in No 2 Fast. Going to the Solag and the Doom Slayer as well. We got Nyx, Solag actually on both teams here, and he's gone for the Anarchy also. I do feel a little bit though that, I mean, my initial prediction prior to the tournament starting was k1llsen Rafa final. I feel like there's a small kind of hazy mist going over the k1llsen name at the moment, and maybe this prediction could just fade away and I'll have to belatedly alter that.
Well, ultimately it's gonna come down to just how this series goes. Now, k1llsen, he's gone back to the classic. Like, he's gone back to what the main bulk of his recent success has come from, which is that lineup of Anarchy, Nyx, and Solag.
Yeah.
You know, that, like, when those champions were popular, he was, you know, right in there. Essentially, you know, whatever the community deems is very strong, there's also an element of, if you're going to go with champions that you know the community thinks is strong, or maybe even too strong, you know that certain people will fear that champion. If they fear that champion, they're not going to be comfortable against it. So if you're good at that champion, that's an instant edge you're going to have over someone else.
Very importantly, if you look the light over k1llsen, he does look a little bit Swedish, the way that it goes on his hair and beard. Sorry, anyway, to point out more important things right now, catch up. It looks like we are going to be getting into the first map between Noctis and k1llsen here at DreamHack Denver 2017. The fight has begun, and we're on board with Noctis and his Anarchy.
Now, Nyx versus Anarchy is always going to be one of those matchups that's quite interesting, because even if she goes into that Ghost Walk, it's very easy for Anarchy to chase her down if he knows where she's going to be. Noctis has been using Anarchy since absolute day one, and his movement has been proven time and time again to be superb.
Yeah, just see how he's going to be able to counter what k1llsen has to offer, who seems to be playing very passively at the moment, not trying to engage in a direct fight or let Noctis just barge in with a shotgun or a rocket to do damage. They're each just going to play on their corners of the map on their items. Let's see how that... Oh, that rocket wasn't too bad at all. Getting rid of any of that overstack, and certainly caution will be in the mind for Noctis.
Yeah, k1llsen went in for the kill. No pun intended, obviously, but I mean, he caught him off guard a little bit. Noctis knocked down, wasting a tiny bit of time, but wasted time isn't going to be as prominent when there's about 15 seconds on each of the major items.
And very cautious over there from k1llsen. Oh, he's now starting to make a bit of an attack with a rocket, and all of a sudden Noctis actually ended up killing himself then. But he just completely blanked the possibility that k1llsen would do such a thing, because they should have had both a major item each. Mega for k1llsen, heavy for Noctis, and he didn't consider that an aggression.
And it just comes down to which one of those players, like if both players are content taking that almost like trade-off, Mega versus Heavy, it's great. But if one of those players goes, you know what, I think I'd like both of them. It's quite a bold thing, but k1llsen, when he's in this situation where he's already lost a series to Sane, he's got to make those plays. He's got to force this advantage. He needs this win.
That's going to be on his mind a lot moving forward, but good starts for the time being. And with the Solag to go against, he wants to make sure not to get Solag too stacked. He's in the air at the moment, and the rocket is perfectly placed from Noctis, as he's going to tie up the champion score here. Rocket jump over to the armor, which is not yet spawned, but he's going to dominate the control over here.
Even if k1llsen was able to land a direct rocket in that situation, Solag had so much health over him. Like, he still was died right there, I think, but trying to bully him away from the Mega, he is going to be successful. And with Anarchy being that weak versus Solag with this much stack, that's a little bit scary to deal with.
Oh, that was very well played from Noctis. So getting that initial rocket damage, k1llsen lost all confidence of being able to just drop onto Mega and run away. He's like, you know what, well played. You earned your spot on that item, but did enough damage to make sure he doesn't have to be terrified of going into a fight. Rockets there found from Noctis, edging back there. There's actually the Venom in the end that took him down from the Acid Spit.
Actually had a good read on the respawn, but misshot the rocket a little bit, hit the terrain there. But that was just perfectly executed. The second he put those acid spits on the floor, there really was nowhere realistically k1llsen was going to land where damage was not guaranteed in that exchange. Very well played.
They're desperate for the health bubbles, but they're just not there. Got a bit of the machine gun coming out at the moment. Noctis is kind of stuck up here. k1llsen's got to be careful. 30 more damage he needs to do. 16. And Noctis is going to be able to fall back. Maybe k1llsen wasn't 100% sure how weak he'd got him, because then he probably wouldn't have let him escape.
Knowing how k1llsen plays, I think if k1llsen knew exactly how weak Noctis was, we would have seen him go in there for sure. But I guess in some of these exchanges, when you're hitting so many shots at once, and it's hard to keep track of how many of those nails connected, maybe he's just content trying to reset things a little bit. And this has been a very slow round.
It has been quite slow the way it has played out, but at the moment, Noctis has had an in being able to recover after that mega incident.
I think the issue k1llsen's going to have, though, because he didn't go in that exchange. Well, obviously, we have the luxury of seeing the health, so we know he should have. He doesn't really have a lot of time to make something happen. He's only got just over 1 minute left of this round, and then he's going to lose by timeout.
That's true. k1llsen has got an enormous stack, so he should certainly have confidence to make a move on this. All over stack, and some of the natural gone now for Noctis. And k1llsen, he's going to have to force the play fairly soon. We could see a rotation of items pan out first, and then go into it. Oh, he rockets himself! Wow, he just fed so much damage to Noctis.
And especially when you get stuck on that LG trail, no one likes being hit by an LG when you're in the air. That's unfortunate.
Good initial rocket, or the lateness on the armor, but it might have turned out quite well for him because Noctis is weak. He's got to chase him down. And there it is. We're seeing some urgency from k1llsen, moving in, looking for a direct rocket. Noctis not going to have much left in on him. The lightning gun should be enough to finish the job. If he can find it, it is going to be the mid-air that will settle the score in the end. And we now have a champion each in round one.
That was very brave of Noctis to actually go in for that jump pad. I mean, he must have gone for the jump pad expecting to just line up a better shot, but realistically, the second he was in that situation, that was going to be a good shot for k1llsen regardless.
And I like that finally we saw some urgency with a rocket jump to lead him towards it as well. I was nervous that he was going to slowly trot around the map and basically lose sight. But here we go, sudden death between Noctis and k1llsen on the first round of this series. I don't know which way it's going to go. My predictions feel like nonsense right now. The way
I suppose one of the elements here will be if we do see a Berserk come out from Noctis. I don't know if he's going to use it aggressively because he knows k1llsen has the acid spit. If you've got Berserk, you have to go in for the the close range attacks. But that's going to be easy acid spray all day.
Oh, rocket here, not too bad. Little chip damage from k1llsen. He did manage to secure himself the mega, but Noctis is finding a hell of a lot of damage.
But he has a nice amount of armor left too, and actually hasn't lost a huge amount.
Oh, the return fire. They're trading damage really well versus each other. And k1llsen is so early at the moment for this. There's a punch. Can he find one more? He's just made the transition through the teleporter and allowed k1llsen to get a stack back up. Great weapon selection from him, actually.
He just needed one more punch. That's all he needed in that situation. Catches him on the mega, but k1llsen now doesn't really care because he just landed on the mega and then he's super healthy again. But I feel like if Noctis didn't hit that teleport, we might have actually seen a frag.
I think so, yeah. I definitely think so. And that's kind of allowed k1llsen to get back into the lead, having taken two of those big items. His timing is a little bit sketchy at the moment. The amount of damage that Noctis is getting, that rocket is so close as well.
Another one!
Wow, the follow-up.
k1llsen is in so much trouble now. Noctis, he's going to lay this pressure on thick.
Oh my God.
He's been able to get the mega at the last possible minute, and Noctis a little bit too slow to challenge. And just like that, it's switched.
Very, very close. I think Noctis was trying to prevent that full item control from taking place. And the amount of times he almost shook him off as well. Very, very close. I do find it fascinating how, because Noctis doesn't play a lot of the sort of online community cups at home, it's quite hard for k1llsen to have like a consistent read of exactly how his opponent plays. So Noctis does tend to bring surprises when he comes to a tournament.
I think that's an edge he'll have too, is that he knows how to play duel, and he knows how he wants to approach each kind of, each map. He knows how he wants to play the game mode. But because he's not competing in these online cups, it's really, that's his game plan, and only he knows that game plan.
Yeah, bring it on the big stage, and that's what he's ready for.
I think that might be why Noctis is like such a king of group stages. Because I mean, like he's been doing so consistently well every time, but Noctis tries to escape. k1llsen in hot pursuit, but Anarchy, if he's getting boosted by the LG, I don't think anyone can really keep up with him.
He's just got a huge amount of stack from that little run he's had. k1llsen, he managed to find a small armor, but he has to maintain that pressure. Injection has been used. k1llsen, sub 50 health at the moment, has to run away. Oh my God, the ghost walk just in time. That rocket was heading straight for his head.
Absolutely, but I mean, that's the strength of Nyx, right? I mean, if you get caught off guard, just pop it at the magic moment. It's going to be quite a generous cooldown, especially with the hourglasses on the map. And k1llsen's knowledge of when to use it to disengage, I mean, like, he's been using Nyx so consistently all the time. I believe actually is his favorite champion in the game. Like, he has a lot of knowledge about when to use that Ghost Walk.
And still got 20 seconds roughly. Oh, he's finally picked up those 3 hourglasses. So that cooldown, you can see at the character portrait. So come back to the tick mark, which means he is all set to use it again. Mega will be up in a moment. It looks more like we're going to be getting a trade on the items unless Noctis did something just hyper aggressive. He's trying to make a move in, though, and k1llsen can't punish it and claim it for himself. Ooh. He gets an amazing rocket. This is quite big for k1llsen, actually.
I guess the question is, can k1llsen chase? And they're actually trying to use the downtime to... He's miles away, in fact. Just keeping him at arm's reach.
Yeah, wasn't able to do too much of that LG, but Noctis has decided to re-engage into that room. Fortunately for him, wasn't hit by any of those rockets, but maybe now k1llsen is going to be able to take control of this.
Oh, he's got the Megas. That's a fantastic start. But they're going to, for now, trade that back off. Noctis has to be careful. He's only got 1 rocket left, and actually now, in fact, no rockets left to go. This may be a problem.
He's going to try and pick that up again. And just realize, actually, probably should have been aware a lot sooner. We're 2.5 minutes into this, and he still hasn't grabbed the lightning gun yet.
I feel like Noctis just must not even want to risk being in that situation, right?
Yeah, it's such a dangerous part of the map, and he's not got the Ghost Walk or anything like that.
The problem is he's running out of ammo so much. Like, he's now lost all of his nails as well. Like, he needs to get in there eventually and make something happen.
He's not got that many machine gun bullets left either. I think he could get the LG now. There we go.
Nice.
Almost 3 minutes later, he's going to be getting hold of that. Ghost Walk has been forced out.
I think k1llsen, he's been a real bully in this round. Even if he's not getting a frag, he's been doing a good job of just keeping Noctis at a situation where Noctis is not really wanting to pile too heavily into these fights.
I want to see Noctis actually getting some more nails for the nail gun, because he was using that to a huge effect in terms of just long range spam, chipping away with that damage, and not having that weapon in your arsenal it has some effect.
I mean, and against Nyx, even getting hit by like 3 nails is a big deal because of her natural health pool.
Exactly, and we're getting some nice rockets. These guys are just chipping away at each other. It's more like the drive-bys that Noctis are doing, which either fall into place for him where he gets some damage himself, or we get that good prediction work from k1llsen. Mega is up, taken by Noctis, who's lost a small chunk of his armor, but not to worry.
Here we go. Heavy armor to boot. Now Noctis is ready.
k1llsen needs 3 seconds for that Ghost Walk to be up. He's trying to find some extra damage, but he's not able to stay on that platform, which is going to be the saving grace here for k1llsen. The chase at the moment has been perfect. Wow. Yeah. With the air control in play, it's a little easier to make that move, but still.
That was a nice little. That was a nice reaction from Noctis to go, hang on a minute, I'm going to have to make a hard left.
Sort out that steering wheel. k1llsen in a bit of trouble right there. 4 minutes 17 later, and he eventually finds him.
And he's got him off the spawn too.
He's got to watch out though, that shot can hurt.
100%. They're both really weak, in fact. He's not just going to try and keep him away from rocket. I think it's a bit too risky. k1llsen comes flying by.
And that was only sub 30 seconds then until the round would have been over. And Noctis chose to have quite an aggressive position instead, which was not fruitful for him.
I felt like now Noctis was going to be in hot pursuit temporarily for that. I think just in case. It did a nice chunk of damage, but wasn't really able to follow through.
I hope that k1llsen keeps an eye on the amount of self-damage that Noctis is doing to himself, because he has to do 2 rocket jumps. That's probably almost 100 damage it did to himself.
It's actually quite brave of k1llsen to not use his injection. Even in this scenario where 1 well-placed rocket will delete him, still never using his injection.
Oh my god, so close. The injection comes out just in time. Down to sub 20 health. He needs to find some of these health bubbles indeed.
But Sorlags, I mean, even though she was slightly downgraded, you can still see those damage numbers as ticking damage. That was a humongous rocket. k1llsen's pretty good at landing those prediction rockets, isn't he?
Oh, it was an amazing prediction.
His fair share of clips online, isn't he?
A tiny little sound cue, or just calculating the time it takes for these routes to work out, and he's been extraordinarily good with this. And now he's finally got a stack where he can challenge a little bit. LG might come out, so it works quite well against Sorlag.
That was another 100 damage too on Noctis. Massive damage coming through on these rockets, but k1llsen, he's only got 1 rocket left. But
there should be an ammo crate right here, yeah, so sorted that problem out for the moment, but still, you want a little bit more ammunition to work with. That rocket jump.
6, it was not a huge amount to have, but Noctis didn't get a huge amount of damage in retaliation. We're in sudden death now, so the next champion will take this round. This is only round 2 as well.
That was quite a lot of damage just then, actually, from k1llsen. He might move in, try to get a little extra. Direct rocket would get him the kill, but count yourself lucky if you're going to be hitting one of them. The angles that Noctis is allowing him to have, not many. Looks like k1llsen is winning himself a lot of items right now. And I think after he gets this heavy, we should see some action from him, because Noctis hasn't got a lot of resources. He's going to find him here. And he's good rocket.
He's caught him in a really rough position, just needs one more. But even then, with this health, he's got to be so careful. One rocket left to go. Swiftly undone by this pickup, but Noctis, I think, barely alive.
That was less than 10 health he had just then, but k1llsen didn't feel comfortable to go in and finish the job off without, you know, maybe like a 20% chance, or maybe even less, that where he would die. And he wants a dead certain chance. He does not want to give a single round in this map to Noctis. He has just found him. The armor's been given away, and he has just walked into the spit, which will be an extra 35 damage done to him.
Indeed, and it's also going to give Noctis a little bit of eyes. You can see the ticking damage, the numbers appearing. It pretty much just gives you a little bit of a mini knowledge as to where the opponent is at the time of the damage land.
Whoa.
And now k1llsen, just like that, he's in a lot of trouble. Noctis heads him off. When will k1llsen use this injection? He has to think about it now. He can't take a single rocket, otherwise he's going out.
Wow. Okay, he's just used the injection, and then an almost direct landed against him, trying to find the health bubbles.
I'm honestly surprised he popped the injection that late. That was so brave.
But it worked out. I mean, it ended up being the perfect move to make, but it was almost not enough to save him.
Yes, dying with 12 HP even after all of that.
2 big items have now been taken by Noctis. All of when things were looking so good for k1llsen, it's now kind of moved into...
Oh my God!
Noctis, he should be getting this one. He just rushed in. He had no dams to give.
I feel like it's such an interesting thing when you see a round go as long as that one did, but then at the last moment, Noctis goes, you know what? I feel like I'm confident there. He just flies in, full speed ahead.
Well, it's like k1llsen wasn't getting on the items anymore. We saw overstack on the health and the armor. Not too much, though, for Noctis, but that is enough for him to think, right, well, I clearly am able to justify a move in on this. We are tied 1-1 now in rounds here on Corrupted Keep. Checking out Noctis off the beginning of this. He's got the armor. He's got lots of the best weaponry he needs to get the job done over here.
Yeah, if I can Corrupted Keep, as long as you've got an LG, as long as you've got a rocket, you're not too far away.
Can't find an angle to get any of the extra damage done, but k1llsen can with his patience. And Noctis just going to flee after getting that small armor. Oh, the turnaround just at the wrong moment is going to force him to use the injection. Is k1llsen going to keep piling that pressure? Well, it's a bit late now. All that health recuperated so soon.
I think that's the strength of Anarchy on this map, right? It's the fact that you let him live for a split second, and within 2 seconds, 3 seconds, he's got full health immediately again.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to go in, you've got to go into that split second. There is no other option, otherwise he's going to get full health again.
k1llsen, high ground advantage at the moment. He will actually end up dropping down, looking for the rockets to work out, and it does indeed. Secures the first frag, looking to find him off the spawn. Oh, immediately, LG, is that going to work? And I think we're seeing an old technique used just for a moment there.
Well, maybe not anymore.
Yeah, k1llsen, you need to sort that one out. That's not working now.
Well, I think also in that fight, Noctis ran out of rockets again. He ran out of rockets in that exchange, and he swapped to LG, not really by choice, I don't think.
Well, let's see if k1llsen can change things back around in the advantage. He almost bought himself then. And Noctis is just hiding in that little corner down below. Mega's going to be there. I think k1llsen caught eyes of him for a brief moment. He's got to be careful going in on this because the acid spit is out there. Does land a couple of decent rockets, but likewise, Noctis has got good pressure himself on.
And again, as you're forced to run away, also just got the luxury of seeing exactly where the opponent has gone. k1llsen tries to survive, uses the injection.
Why?
Stuck in the air. I mean, yeah, a bit of an interesting use of the injection right there.
But it was so slow for him to see that Noctis was coming in with the Sorlag, and before he chose, oh, I'm going to get out of the room now. He should have been out the exit behind him seconds earlier. And right now, Noctis has got a huge advantage. He's looking like he's going to take the frag in a second. Such a massive stack. If k1llsen can survive this, I'll be gobsmacked.
I would definitely be inclined to agree in this situation. I mean, you can just see k1llsen, he's not even moving. Like, he's just trying to listen for where Noctis is. The second he hears him, that's when he tries to make his advance. But even this hallway is risky.
But what Noctis can do is he can just rocket jump, and he can just fly at him at 100 miles an hour. And he's kind of sitting by where some of those health bubbles are. But k1llsen is slowly building a little bit of confidence, building that natural stack. He's got the rockets, and he might soon even pick up the LG too.
Oh.
Is your computer at risk?
I think we should buy a subscription. I think we're back. Temporarily, maybe.
I think k1llsen was at risk. Hopefully we can come back and we'll see that k1llsen's not so much at risk.
Apologies for that, guys, of course, obviously. However, how about that match?
There we go.
There we go.
Golden.
We're back.
And you know what? He survived. He actually survived that whole encounter. And look at this. He's got the immense amount of nail gun damage that he's been doing.
You said if he survived, you'd be godsmacked. But
Yeah, I am. I genuinely am. Noctis, I don't know if I should blame it on Noctis or just praise k1llsen for this brilliant defensive play. Oh, the rockets, though. He hit so much acid spit. Midair going for glory. He's looking for another, but just misses it.
he is still so ridiculous. Even with that, I mean, 27 health, what's that going to do?
He had 2 for a second. I cannot believe k1llsen is alive. The thing is, he's got to get himself a frag soon. He's got just over a minute to get the job done. And Noctis' pressure has been unbelievable. If k1llsen wins this round, I mean, I'm on my knees.
I think if he wins this round, he could very well win the map with the momentum he's going to gain from it, but he's got to reach that point first. It can take... Oh! No, he tried to rocket boost himself, and at the same time, Noctis lands the rocket from above. So in essence, he just did 2 rockets worth of damage.
Yeah. That was pretty sick from Noctis. I can't fault k1llsen for doing what he did to try and rocket jump out of there. I think it was ultimately the right decision. But, yeah, I mean, just perfectly positioned rockets from Noctis, and maybe a small grace of good fortune at the same time.
Both players almost dead, and we were only 5 seconds in, so that was an explosive beginning.
What? You want the rockets, do you? I got the rockets.
I mean, I would just say no pun intended, but I think it speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so Noctis was blessed with an amazing start over here. And instead of k1llsen bringing out Solak, he's going to get the Anarchy himself. He's put the pressure on and does find the frag, actually. Injection was used for a second. But,
that's always going to be the danger of being
back.
That's always the danger using the injection at that range. Obviously, you are stuck in that animation temporarily, which means you can't fight back. You get caught popping an injection, even if you're trying to save yourself. You might die in the middle of it before you can even shoot a single shot.
And he's probably in the sort of sharpest corner there is in all of the maps at the moment, down there in the dirt, by the archway.
That's a rock and a hard place down there.
Quite literally.
However, it's going to be 2-2, but Noctis has been consistently showing us that even though they sort of traded back and forth, fantastic accuracy there by k1llsen.
That first prediction rocket was amazingly impressive. The follow-ups were even better. Superb from k1llsen. Oh, he's looking for the mid-airs himself. There's just so many opportunities for them, especially versus the Doomslayer.
But one of the, I guess, dangers is you sometimes see the Berserk used to pick up items or to escape. Anarchy's top speed far exceeds Doomslayer's, so even if he goes into Berserk, Anarchy will still chase him down.
Find him down at the armor, but not much to do there. Noctis' timing is on point, and look at the overstack he's rocking right now.
Very respectable, and now he's got more rockets.
The thing is, if k1llsen for a second was thinking, I'm going to play time, there's a lot of time you got to think about it, and you got to stop Noctis from doing this with the items. He might even get the next Mega as well. Now he's finally got himself the lightning gun.
He has pretty much everything he needs to make this turnaround happen, even after all these rockets, because his stack is so respective. He can still survive, but fantastic rockets again from k1llsen. Another good sequence.
That just seemed so bizarre. Noctis was almost... I don't know, he seemed like engulfed in confidence with the amount of stack that he had from his control, and he was just slowly taking damage and damage, trying to land lightning gun, but resources being picked up for k1llsen.
I feel like
weird.
I feel like what we saw there was just not just being so sure he was going to win the fight because of just the sheer difference they had.
Yeah.
But k1llsen's rockets again coming through, and we've seen that all day. The turnaround well-placed rockets can bring can not ignore stack, obviously, but it definitely puts you back in the fight.
For sure. This time we haven't got delays and items like we were watching on last round. We're in the early phases where we should have some even trades, at least on offer. k1llsen trying to experiment with some of these routes. Amazing nail gun, actually. If Noctis was thinking of being aggressive, he should be thinking twice about that.
It's crazy with these small champions how quickly, and even at the smallest little burst of super nail, can just shut you down.
Bit more nail gun, but it's a nice little routes that Noctis is taking.
Oh, he would have seen the injection popped as well, so he knows that's going to be down for a little bit. This early on in the round as well, he knows that Anarchy's not really going to have the largest amount of health even after the injection, so a rocket will still take him out.
I like what k1llsen's doing, having that upper aggressive position, try and buy himself that mega health. Good rocket, though, from Noctis. And he's going to force k1llsen into the dark depths of Corrupted Keep for a little longer. And he just spotted it and is pretty grateful that he didn't decide to turn into that route. But now he has, looking for the mid-air on an Anarchy. He's going to find him.
The patience to wait that long and to survive with 1 HP. That was ridiculous.
I'm so glad he did wait as well, because it wasn't really a mid-air in the end, but he found him on the floor with that 1 point. Oh, I thought we were going to get a perforation as well for a second.
That was, I mean, I'm still reading over that. That was one of the most ridiculous frags I've seen. Just the level of confidence, you know, discipline, self-discipline to not pull the trigger, to wait.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wow, look at the 20s just there. He just decimated Noctis with the nail gun.
That
Unreal.
That was pretty much like 20 nails coming through. Most of them connecting, but
crazy.
that has put k1llsen in a fantastic position now. He's still on his Nyx. Noctis with 1 champion left. 3 minutes on the clock. I mean, it's coming up well for k1llsen right now.
I know we're only on first map at the moment, but I'm already thinking of pop-offs. I know that k1llsen's very engaged.
He needs it. He needs this win too.
The games I was hearing earlier, I know that k1llsen celebrates any victory within a duel game, so definitely my eyes are on him if he manages to convert this into a victory.
I mean, we can't forget, for those at home, you know, k1llsen did fall to Sane in the group stage, so he's not undefeated. k1llsen needs every win he can get at this stage.
Yeah. So yeah, he beat Faz in the end, a very, very close series. As you said, lost to Sane. So this is like, you know, life on the line. He hasn't got sacrifice to look back at like Noctis does. He is very much like 100% emotionally heart committed in this.
Noctis, he kind of has to be aggressive, really. He can't allow k1llsen to be a little bit too willy-nilly running around the map when he's so far back. 2 minutes left, though. That whole thing took a minute, and not much has happened.
k1llsen was under a bit of pressure a moment ago. He had no Ghost Walk and only had 50 health, 25 armor. He really wants to just get away from Noctis, almost all stages.
Yep.
If he can get a big item and just deny it, that would be great for him. But look at this. I'm almost getting deja vu, though, from that fight Noctis lost before in the nail gun room.
But it's like, you know, k1llsen hasn't actually left that room for about 20 seconds, and he's still there.
Maybe he won't. Oh, here he is. He's just on the side at the moment. Does have Ghost Walk to work with if he needs it, and he's going to use it in the end to avoid that direct rocket. Noctis can't find him.
Yeah, I mean, he was in that room for so long. That was the first place Noctis thought to look, but now k1llsen, he's got no Ghost Walk. He's very weak. The nice change to LG, knowing there's no way he's going to survive that.
Wondering what champion he's going to pick. He's going for Anarchy in the end, feeling that the mobility is going to give him, you know, an extra chance to survive. He's managed to just actually steal away heavy armor. Actually, he stole away heavy and mega health. So this is going to be probably 30 difficult seconds right now for Noctis. And pressure is on at the moment. 12 health left, looking for punches, but k1llsen is going to take him out and take map 1.
I was thinking maybe the charge mechanic of that Berserk may have moved him out the way just long enough to maybe escape that situation, but I suppose not.
Yeah, I was asking for a lot. k1llsen, he managed to take the Mega and the Heavy just before that fight, or shortly before the fight. And I think Noctis, it was last chance saloon, just going, all guns blazing. I've got an ability, press it. Let's see what happens, or something like that. That was very much a fight that favored the German.
Well, the German is in a fantastic position right now.
Yes.
I mean, like, it was a hard-fought map, for sure. I mean, at the very beginning as well, Noctis looked very dominant. Very, very strong.
Yes. I was actually very nervous for k1llsen the way he was coming into it, but it's good that he bounced back quite soon instead of leaving us late. A bit like what Zron did. He got absolutely crushed in the first map, and then only in the second did he start actually showing any signs of life.
And then we saw the same thing on Toxic, where Toxic had a very dominant map against him, and then the next two were just in record time. He just flipped it. You know, and it was unlike anything we'd seen from him previously today. And I feel like, you know, when you get put behind, that's your moment to go, right, okay. I mean, the safety net is now gone. You've got to play your best, and that's it.
Oh, exactly. And there's still a lot of unpredictable things happening in a couple of the groups at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting to see at the end of the duel stage today what we're going to be looking at for tomorrow's playoffs. And I know that we're going to be getting all playoff matches in duel played tomorrow on stream. So yeah, I'm very keen to see how that's going to be looking out. And I know that things are getting late for the Euros at the moment. So guys who are staying tuned with us from Europe, you guys are absolute stars. I hope you're enjoying the show, and do stay tuned as we will shortly move into the second map with k1llsen and Noctis.
I mean, like, it was already hard to predict, and now seeing as it pretty much went as close as it did, k1llsen granted, very, very dominant final round, but I still think it's hard to call. But I think there's, right there, right? That was a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
That was a sigh of relief of, I've just won the first map. Okay, let's do this, boys. Like, you know, I don't think you even need to talk about that.
I like that. I like he wears his heart on his sleeve. I love that he shows his emotions and everything like that. And as a 3-2, I mean, that's how close it's been. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another 3-2. Whether it's a 2-1 or a 2-0 to k1llsen, sorry, 2-1 to anyone or 2-0 to k1llsen, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3-2s along the way for every map.
I think that's just the nature of this kind of setting. You know, these players have been playing hard, they've been playing long, and realistically, this is a collection of the best players. And when the best players go head-to-head, these results happen. It's going to be close. It's going to be hard to call because this is what happens when a top player goes up against a top player.
Exactly.
You know, it's just the way it works.
And you know, if Noctis is going to be making it through as well into the playoffs, he is going to have quite a stacked day. No pun. I didn't mean that.
No pun intended,
I'm sorry. But he's going to have a crazy day tomorrow as well, the amount of games that they are going to play. But, you know, as you said earlier, these guys, they're used to it. It's like simulation of home experiences here and grinding through those matches. Let's see here. Late I am on the Visor. Finally, we're getting some of him. Combining that with the Sorlag and the Anarchy for Noctis. And k1llsen, what's his last pick?
He's thinking about it. Is it going to be Sorlag or is it going to be someone like k1llsen? He actually mentioned k1llsen earlier. No, Sorlag. Now, I feel like part of this, I feel like part of that lineup is a comfort pick for k1llsen.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like he's had so much success with this lineup in particular. I just think it's like, it must just be the team he is the most comfortable using. And when you're in this setting, it clearly worked on Public.
Because before any of the updates this month that are going on, Sorlag was very much part of the meta within the game. And what's nice to see is that due to changes, Sorlag suddenly hasn't disappeared. People are still like, well, I practiced that champion so much. I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to make her work and keep her within the dual composition that I use. So I like seeing that from k1llsen. I wonder if it will ultimately be the most optimal thing. But if you're well practiced, well rehearsed, you know, you might as well execute with it.
And I think on the flip side, we see Noctis going with another sort of standard composition as well. It's just going to be quite a classic matchup. I think we're expecting to see. There's stuff that we've seen over and over again in qualifications before the patch, the Summit matches that we would see. We're probably going to see that again today, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the music kicks in, guys, we're moving into map number 2 between Noctis and k1llsen here at Dreamhack Denver 2017. We're a map up for k1llsen right now, but Noctis could very well fight his way back in here. We're on him with Sorlag to start with, and looking like he might be starved of an early major item.
Yeah, and on the subject, that k1llsen taking both of them within the first 10 seconds. And Noctis didn't really push it in. You know, he spawned with a far distance away, kind of conceded the mega, and then the time it took him really to go back, k1llsen just mopped up the heavy 2.
That's it, but you know, if k1llsen's not getting anything done, the stack on the light champions, the overstack, it fades away very quickly, and you can see the light blue and green is just slowly shrinking down. And as we get to the items right now, looks like Noctis all of a sudden is the one benefiting. Oh, this is hard work. Oh, he finds the rail as well. Brilliant execution there from Noctis.
And I think it's put him in a nice little early lead, and he gets one rail, looking for that second, but can't quite land it. k1llsen, regardless, is currently behind after that, but I mean, you need to land those rails. At this stage, when you're obviously a map down, you need to fight back. If you're landing fantastic rails, that's the best way to fight back. I consider Noctis one of the legendary players of the game. In Team Deathmatch in particular, he's someone where you just see the most amazing combat skills from a player. And it looks like he's harnessing this strength now and trying to deliver with the rails. Nice little movement to zap away, but k1llsen, again, known for the rails himself, he's also landing his shots. But I think that's what I always find really exciting when you have two players that are known for having fantastic accuracy. It's like they're pretty much both hitting everything. Again, you have to sort of approach things entirely differently, because if the risk of a rail was so strong, then you can't take it back. Hang on a minute. No damage, Noctis. I go out on my own terms, he said. And there we go.
There was an important rail that he missed that would have secured in the kill, but it was a brilliant rocket play from k1llsen, just completely immobilizing him. We're going to find him in the corridors, and suicides again, as Noctis takes the champion lead here at the start of Blood Run.
So the past 2 frags on this map have gone down to a suicide. That's actually quite interesting. 2 in a row.
k1llsen has lost such a huge amount of health from that nail gun.
He has.
He's starting to pick things up again in those upper rooms. But the drop down, is he going to regret his actions? Both players terribly weak.
Just going back to how strong the rocket launcher is in these situations. You know, if he didn't land that rocket, would have been in a much worse off position. We've seen him probably go in there and chase it down. The frag likely would have finished already.
That's it. That's it. Fully overstacked. But is he able to close the gap? Maybe one rail on the entry, and that would mean just go in, ignoring anything that could happen with that acid spit.
I feel like k1llsen, I mean, that's actually why we see Noctis sometimes doing exchanges when he's going in those like tight corners. has the gauntlet out and he revs it as he goes around just in case. I think laying a trap with that acid spit versus Anarchy is such a common Sorlag tactic, isn't it? I think Noctis is prepared for that kind of ambush, I suppose.
Yeah. I like the little move we had of the acid spit just then for k1llsen. Gets a little bit of information from that, and a little extra damage, which gets rid of some of the overstack. Trying to get a direct going, but Noctis has been fairly evasive at the moment.
He actually thought about following him down there, but the second he saw it was 19, he just stopped. It's like, hey, maybe not.
It's like, oh, that wasn't as good as I wanted.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't enough damage.
k1llsen's still not yet rocking the lightning gun, but they're certainly going to be more prominent with the weapons he's got to be effective against the Anarchy. Just missing out these shots, and any of these could be so crucial to allow him to chase in again, and finally building up that stack enough that he's got the natural. Finds him with the acid spit. Good rocket to follow up, and there's got to be no health left on Noctis. Beautifully done.
The tick killed him before the rocket even needed to do anything.
And look what we've got now. We have got the visor in action, and this is a little wall hack ability, essentially. The ability is called Piercing Sight. I know that we can always see the enemy through the wall, which the players can't, but Noctis can make that happen with visor using his ability.
That was actually a very brave play of Noctis when he popped the Piercing Sight and saw k1llsen down that mega hallway. And he actually challenged the rail. You know, he was basically running in a straight line, and then the second he would realize the rail would miss, he would then run forward a little bit during the downtime and then try and dodge again. Very brave indeed to go for that. And he didn't want to give up mega, I'm assuming.
No, that's it. He wants to retain control. And visor can actually get pretty stacked up as well. A bit like him. Well, same type of stack that Doomslayer's got, in fact.
I mean, it's quite easy to underestimate the fact that Noctis, I mean, look at that, right? 100 armor and then 125 regular health. That is very chunky.
It's loads, absolutely loads. And one thing I'm sure people have heard us going on the qualifiers over and over, but Piercing Sight now on visor cannot be heard by the opponent when you use it. So it's very much a surprise. It used to be that you heard this huge global sound and you'd be aware and you'd kind of just stay put until you know the coast is clear.
Obviously now, not having that luxury, I mean, it's, I suppose, quite an obvious strength to have, but meeting him in the middle, taking a huge amount of damage, and now Noctis can he get there in time? Oh, he had 8 instead of 7. That is probably the most convenient 8 health I think Noctis has ever had.
Yeah. Holy crap. Noctis, though, needing to stack up again, taking almost all the 25 health bubbles in the vicinity. A little bit of splash, trying to get one of those rails to land, but then realizing that, oh, I've got none of them left. And the way they've changed the ammunitions when you pick up the weapon are still playing with some of the players' minds at the moment.
Yeah, some of the players definitely aren't used to the change that you sort of get for some of the weapons. I believe it's like a rail and rocket was another one, right? That was slightly adjusted.
It does depend mostly on the map, but now as you get 5 rail slugs starting, then 10 rockets and 100 lightning gun ammunition. And it used to be, 50% more. Sometimes, in some cases, 100%.
There's that Piercing Sight. He knows he's there. Can he get an unchallenged rail? Oh, I was waiting for it. k1llsen not letting him get away with that.
Very close. And if k1llsen saw him just face to face, he would have seen a kind of white mask on visor, which would alert to the fact that he's using Piercing Sight. So I'm not sure if he quite caught a glimpse of it, but k1llsen was going so quickly at the moment. Is he going to be able to close the gap? Noctis has got absolutely nothing. But there it is. It's like, I got nothing but the gauntlet. Let me try something over here.
I mean, why not? And obviously, he would have heard the acid spit too, which would have gone down into the door underneath. There's no way you're running away. Like, visor hasn't got any form of increased mobility as such. He hasn't got a passive that gives him like a boost or something. Like, that's it. He can't go down that hallway. And
you're in that, yeah, exactly, the little staircase where you've got 2 exits, which both lead to the enemies. Good luck, mate.
Noctis going with visor first, though.
I'm interested in that. He does use the Piercing Sight straight away to see what the start's going to play out like a bit more clearly. I'm ready to wait and see. Actually, I've got very little basis for prediction at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely, it's not as easy to, I guess, capitalize on a start. If you know where someone is, if you spawn near a weapon that allows you to sort of make something happen, then absolutely. But in that instance, I think Noctis just wanted to know what k1llsen was doing.
Oh my God, k1llsen was so prepared for that angle. Going to find him now straight away with the rockets, looking for a mid-air, and he's going to get eyes on him for just a second or two longer.
I almost felt like k1llsen was challenging him there. He was actually, while invisible, standing still, aiming up at him.
The double jump there, trying to look for an extra bit of damage, but the rocket started to land, and k1llsen thinking that maybe we'll play games a bit later on. The drop there from Noctis wasn't good for him. Wow.
Noctis consistently surviving with under 10 HP. This is insane.
And I love this, the pressure that we're seeing from k1llsen at the moment. It seems a bit more confident than we saw on Corrupted Keep, despite being a close map that he won in the end. This is starting to look a bit more one-sided, I think.
k1llsen's starting to find his groove a little bit. The issue with Piercing Sight is even if you are behind, like when you're behind and you've got Piercing Sight,
whoa,
what you can do with it, I mean, it can allow you to sort of make maybe a safer play, but
yeah,
it doesn't allow you to be aggressive unless you're ready to be aggressive.
Well, sometimes you've got no health, no armor, and you're trying to find a way from one room to another. You can just drop Piercing Sight and you can at least have a protected path for a short period of time.
Which way is this guy going to kill me from?
Exactly, and at least try and avoid him for a few seconds longer. But Noctis is definitely finding it hard to get some good control on the map himself. It has been the k1llsen show so far.
I feel like at the very least, Noctis has been able to get himself back up to just full health and full armor. But here comes k1llsen aggressive. But just in case, you know, that is the strength of Piercing Sight. Now k1llsen, the tide has been turned.
Wow.
Rocket to finish. He has one rocket left, doesn't even need to spend it. That is why Piercing Sight is such an amazing anti-Nyx tool.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. And the timing on it, he just understood perfectly what k1llsen was trying to do and was able to, I mean, that's the mass counter right there against Nyx. And I think, you know, because he's recognizing that k1llsen was picking Nyx early on, he's thinking, well, maybe that's why I'm going to pick Visor right now, to get that Nyx away.
In many ways, it would make perfect sense. You know, I mean, ultimately, Champions having such a big part in this game, doesn't get a huge amount of damage on that one, but Champions being so impactful.
What is Noctis doing at the moment? He is hitting some amazing shots. He's being left on the brink of survival, but he's getting things done. Rocket jump across. That rail was certainly something to be concerned of, but survival continues.
I feel like Noctis has been, again, no rails.
He needs to keep his head on that. Yeah, it's happening a lot more than I would have expected from him, actually. See, moving forward a bit. Good little bit of chip damage, but he can't really afford to keep taking these rails. It's going to send him to the corners of the map for a while.
And also when he's not got rail ammo himself, and it's hard for him to actually compete with that. If he's at least able to try and trade them back and forth, it's a saving grace. But if you have no ammo, it's just going to be damage you can't dish out. k1llsen lands another. Takes big damage on the rockets. There's currently no health to pick up besides that one little piece there.
I thought that was quite a risky route for k1llsen to take to get out of there, depending on where Noctis would have decided to go in the end. But he does make it so, and with the Mega in hand, he's looking pretty good. But you've got just over a minute now to take down that Visor, and also the following champion that Noctis selects.
But this is always when things get difficult. I mean, like, he has to try and make something happen, catches him off guard. Can he finish the job? k1llsen's still super weak. Definitely going to be Noctis's round right there. But I think that was just a fantastic round from start to finish, Noctis. Like, fantastic aim. Well, survivability was through the roof.
I think in that round that k1llsen looked like he was on top of things for such a long time at the beginning. But then all of a sudden, as soon as Noctis made that play we saw going versus the Nyx, it just seemed to be so one-sided all of a sudden. And we are going to get the same matchup now. We're going to get Noctis picking the Visor to go versus the Nyx. I think that we need to see something from k1llsen just saying, okay, maybe I won't pick Nyx first.
Yeah, I think we're likely to see, well, the answer to Visor might have potentially been like maybe Anarchy to catch him early on, or just Solag.
Yeah, either of them would be better.
But at the very beginning there, when k1llsen went straight in for that heavy, Noctis right in there with the OG. No doubt he popped Piercing Sight early on. Of course he saw he was going for that.
We need to see a bit more adapting from k1llsen, but if he can land a rail, he can get things going. He's going to go into Ghost Walk mode instead. Secures the Mega, and Noctis feels that it's not going to be safe to traverse the gap towards the heavy armor.
And Noctis is back up for that full stack again. It's remarkable how often he's been able to survive on no health. And it's like Visor. It's like Visor has the easiest time escaping.
And now with the Piercing Sight, a rail shot. You don't need Piercing Sight for that.
I mean, like, that shot might have been so good, k1llsen probably thought he had Piercing Sight.
Mega's been taken. A good little shot there.
Oh dear, here he goes. k1llsen tries to get away, but there's no getting away from Visor.
Oh, double jump. Wall jump missed there from k1llsen. And we're going to get the risky jump. He misses out on it. k1llsen has got a chance to come back in this, and he's going to capitalize. And there is going to be the heavy as a reward.
That was unfortunate, actually, for both of them. They both actually missed the heavy, but k1llsen coming up a little bit better. Massive damage on Noctis.
I think that, yeah, definitely the movement error for Noctis was more punishing, and I think k1llsen will say thank you later on. Oh, wow.
Denied. That was fantastic.
Awesome rail to finish off. It made it look so easy, but it's still quite hard going up versus that target and making it work like that. Fair play, sir.
I don't think Noctis actually caught him going in, but
I'm not sure. Maybe he would have seen the cloud going around the corner.
yeah, potentially.
We'll have to see. Armor's there, and he is going to keep landing rails. One more, and his snapshot like that. k1llsen secures another round, and he can feel it.
And that's it, right? No,
Look at
one
the
more.
tension.
You saw it himself. He's there going one more round. Almost every single rail k1llsen fired there, but just not only fantastically accurate, but I mean, ultimately, they landed. They made the difference. They were able to keep Noctis in a situation where he couldn't really do anything, and k1llsen's just playing out of his mind.
Look at what Noctis has done now. He's not going visor first anymore. He's gone over to the Sorlag. k1llsen not changing his plays whatsoever. He's happy with his selection of Nyx, which I know there's been some criticism in the past, but okay. That was just Sorlag on a commute there.
In record time, I'm out of there. But I actually find that's the interesting thing. You know, we were talking about, I feel like Noctis had quite an answer for Nyx, but funny enough, he's the one that has been now forced off, and he just gets taken out before he has a chance to touch the Mega.
Amazing from k1llsen at the moment. All the pressure's on him, and he's
my
gonna get
God.
the mid-air as well to follow that up. It is just the Anarchy left. Noctis has said GG in chat already. What has happened here?
Wait a second. I mean.
There we go.
Okay, so the game is now over. I think after a play that disgusting, was Noctis right? You know what? I think you win, mate. I think you win. You can have this one.
He didn't even have to do that. Do you call that BM, or do you think that's like respect your opponents? Like, you know what? That was such a sweet frag.
I mean,
I've lost all faith in myself.
in many ways, that was a sweet frag, and that was just k1llsen playing as well as we know he needs to do, and he needed that win, 1000%.
Absolutely. Well, we got Jahar with us there. We can break this down a little more, but oh my God, the joy from k1llsen we can see. I'm happy for him.
What a fantastic comeback for him, for sure. I mean, it was really, really vital that he came back from some of those early group matches, and this was certainly the way to do it. But even though I was completely wrong about how the results turned out, it at least was a little bit of a breather. At least it was two players who showed a lot of respect to each other, who were trying to set up a good situation. And of course, the only way that was possibly going to end was with some really sick air rockets. We had several, one after the other. It was coming left and right. It was crazy.
I thought actually as well, maybe part of the reason Noctis called that early GG is because k1llsen also wasn't really missing rails at the same time.
No.
And when he's doing that, I know I've seen a lot of top players getting pretty furious with what's going on. k1llsen, it just seems unfair sometimes when he's hitting rails like that.
I mean, because ultimately, I think it was like he was playing like a man possessed, but he was also playing like a man that really needed to win that series.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it was both rounds. Noctis looked like he was definitely fighting back, 100%. But k1llsen just went, I think I'd like to win now. And then every rail, and it was pretty much every rail the round before, and then every rocket the round after that.
You're absolutely, I mean, if he hadn't won that series, we would have had a three-way tie in the group, which it comes very close to happening each and every event, it seems. It's really crazy. But we do have our top three shots from that. Again, a really difficult selection to make. Let's see what we got.
It could have just been the final 2 rounds of that last match.
Yeah, we would have been.
Every single one, yeah.
Get the full replay.
Oh, yeah, that nail gun was absolutely sick.
That was an insane
completely
amount of
nasty.
nail gun.
That nail gun really has a way of sneaking up on you. He was like, I'm not taking any damage. Oh, I'm dead. And then you've got rockets like that. Yeah, that's exactly where k1llsen didn't need to even be there. And then Noctis, of course, he was making very effective use of that visor play, but yeah, rockets just weren't missing from anybody this matchup.
That was a really awesome play actually from Noctis. The build up to that too, I think was really great when he read k1llsen coming down. So yeah, awesome match, and I love that we saw a very close corrupted keep, but I think k1llsen